Howdy, and welcome to the next episode for Casting Curious number 2. Let's go. This time it's a little bit different. Instead of Dean interviewing, I'm going to be interviewing Dean. So actually, I probably should have let you introduce yourself.
That's okay. I'm here.
I'm Gordon, and I'm with
Dean.
Woo! There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So, Casting Curious, a little bit of a recap. These episodes are for the audience, you guys, to get in touch and learn a little bit more about the characters or the players that are playing the characters behind the mics. That way you can know a little bit more about them and connect with them a little bit better as you listen to the story progress. But let's just jump right in. The first question that we have for you, Dean, is how did you get into D&D?
So it's kind of similar to, I feel like, all of ours almost with Trent, but
He's the epicenter.
yeah, well, yeah, it's a little for me and some of my friends. We tried to play it, but it was like we had no idea what we were doing. We didn't understand any rules. We didn't know any of the books. Like, we had a very small idea of what D&D was. And we just kind of got together, and it was almost entirely bad role playing, where we'd be like, I want to go find Atlantis. And the DM would be like, all right, you go find Atlantis. And it's like, maybe sometimes they'd have us roll, but almost always what we wanted would happen, kind of thing. And it was fun because we were making stories. But it wasn't until later we got to a point where we started integrating more rules, and that's when Trent joined us, and Trent was like, let's figure this out. And Trent, he's the one, my friends and we kind of left, and then Trent picked it up and was like, okay, we're doing this. And we have this funny joke, because even then we didn't really understand the rules yet. And we have this funny joke where our friend was like, fine, I use ancient Egyptian teleportation magic, and then he rolled a nat 20, and so Trent just let him do it. And nowadays it's like, what? But now that's just a fun joke we make, because we had no idea what we were doing. But
Right. Yeah.
it wasn't until later that we started making official characters and following the rules, and it's been a lot of fun since then. And since then actually is when I've been like, I really want to have a consistent campaign.
Right? Yeah. How long have your previous sessions usually been?
I feel like we used to have 3 or 4 sessions, and the sessions were just at home with our brothers and some friends on a Saturday kind of thing, and so
Yeah.
we'd play for 4 or 5 hours, really long sessions. But we'd only do a couple, because then one of the brothers would get tired, or our friends just couldn't make it, and then we'd start another one and another one and another one. Oh, and then our dad wanted to play with us, and then we'd start another one. And so it was at one point Trent was DMing 8 different campaigns,
Yeah.
all with the same 8 people.
So it's almost like the writer's struggle, where they're like, I have this really cool idea for a story, and then they start writing a prologue and a chapter, 2 chapters or whatever, and then they're like, wait, I have a new idea, and then they write up this story and it goes into 5 chapters, and then they're like, wait, I have a new idea, and so they have all these really good starts to stories, but they never actually go through with the rest of it.
Yeah, I feel like that's how Trent felt. He was like, guys, we can't start another campaign. We
Let's
have
just finish the
5
one
others. Let's just do those.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really fun. I think Trent got burned out, and so for the longest time we actually didn't play.
Really?
Yeah, for a while. And then I'm so excited that we're able to start up Channel Divinity now.
Right? Yeah. The concept for it is super, super fun. Because you, David, Trent, you guys have known each other your entire lives.
Yeah.
This is really cool that you guys have this bond. And then I'm friends with all of you guys through high school. And now we get to take this bond and get to do something really cool with it and create this story that's more dynamic than any of us could just make on our own, right?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about, well, I guess this might be your next question, but
if you answer it, go for it.
One of my favorite things about D&D is the story.
Yeah.
And so it's when you're with a group of people that you know and you're comfortable with, like you can make story, you can work together. Like role playing is something I haven't always been good at, and so I've been like really trying to get better at it. And like, because I feel like it just helps story and character development happen. Like, I'm excited because for the first time ever, hopefully, we'll have this campaign that runs longer, and my character won't always just be like a little edgy.
Yeah.
Like, he won't be standoffish because he just met these people. Eventually, he might actually make a bond with another player, another
Right.
character that someone's playing.
That's fair.
And like, oh, so much. I'm so excited to see it happen.
Right, yeah. I like that a lot. Just like your focus on the story and how you want one to continue through the end, even if it is a little bit tough. And you talked a little bit about your character growth through that story. And I wanted to ask you, how do you think Vesper is going to grow as the story continues? Because it sounded like you wanted him to have like a little bit of connection with someone. Or
Yeah. Well, I mean, you
the
guys.
party.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to ruin too much about
For
Vesper.
sure, yeah.
But like, he's like a nice guy, and so I feel like what I've been trying to do is you'll see his niceness, but then he'll kind of go back into his shell a little bit. I want him to, and right now it's a little hard because you'll see this in the next couple episodes, or maybe you've seen it a little already, is he gets really focused on his main objective, like his goal in life. And that goal of his is kind of hollow. So I really want him to be able to find other reasons to like exist, or like
Got you, yeah.
like other reasons to be motivated to do things besides just his one goal that he has.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, I think I saw it from the beginning with his interactions with Blank, because he like just saw someone so innocent almost,
Yeah.
that it like made him wonder like what is important, or what is important to him, kind of thing. Like I remember this is the first episode, and like Vesper, it was maybe one of Vesper's first times ever seeing like a human killed kind of thing.
Got you, yeah.
And I don't think he mentioned that, or I mentioned that, but he was so shocked that he was like, okay, we can't just leave these bodies here. These are people.
Yeah.
And when he was trying to explain those feelings to Blank, and Blank was like kind of not understanding him.
Yeah, no, Blank definitely, being quite frank with you, Blank did not understand.
Yeah. It made him realize, like, why am I having these feelings, kind of thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
At least that's my mental dialogue with Vesper in my head.
Right? Yeah.
That's what was going on, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I really want him to broaden his vision on what's important in life, kind of thing.
Got you. That's really cool. And I'm excited to see that over like the progression of the podcast.
Yeah, me too.
That's going to be super cool. Kind of talking with characters, right?
Yeah.
You've mentioned Vesper's growth and stuff. Have you seen this growth in any other characters? Like, kind of what I'm getting at is, what was your first character?
Honestly, I haven't had a lot of growth in my characters. I think that's one of the things I crave about it, but I haven't been able to actually achieve. My first character was a ranger.
Really?
Because I was really into the Ranger's Apprentice book series.
That's fair.
But like, I haven't been able to really get character development. Honestly, I don't remember most of my characters, because most of them, I've made so many and they've all lasted like 1 or 2 sessions, kind of thing. There's the one that I remember the most, that I would probably consider my first real character.
Yeah.
Would be, he was a halfling. We were playing in the Eberron world. And
Oh,
so he was
so fun.
He was like halfling Mark of the Healer or something like that. I can't remember. There's some weird sub races with
Oh,
in
gotcha.
Eberron world.
Okay.
But like he was a celestial warlock, and me and Trent always joke that he had like unlimited healing because he could do because celestial warlock gives you like a ridiculous amount of healing,
Yeah.
and then halfling mark of the healer or whatever also gives you a lot of healing abilities. But it was so much fun. He was like some rich guy. He was this like rich guy. He had a bodyguard who Trent made end up like robbing him or something like that. Actually, Trent bases a character off of that bodyguard in a lot of his campaigns now. So
His name is. Just kidding.
we might actually see that character in. I helped Trent with some of the world design, and he's told me, and we will see that character.
That's awesome.
Probably it might only appear in like Cassiel's character episode though.
Really?
Okay. Yeah. But anyways, it was so fun. It was so much fun. It was him kind of realizing wealth isn't everything.
Yeah.
And the government, the system that I work for might not be the best kind of thing.
Got you. Yeah.
Because he was like a healer or a cleric for the army kind of thing. But yeah, it's been so much fun. That character, I love halflings.
Halflings are the best, right? They get luck.
Oh my
and
goodness.
it's just like they're just fun. They're small.
It's fun to play small characters.
Right? Yeah. Because it's like I duck under their legs. Or,
Yeah,
huh.
it's fun. It just adds like role playing. Because if you just play like a human all the time, or even like an elf, even though like half me and Vesper and Cassiel are elves, but like I don't know, it's fun to add little twists that make it
variation.
Yeah,
make it a little bit
like,
more.
They make it so you have to role play,
Yeah.
because you're not just an average human. You're like a different type of being,
Yeah.
And yeah. Anyways, that's his name was Milo, the classic halfling name.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit about world building.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of turn the discussion a little bit over to that a little bit, if you're okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you and Trent have talked about the world building and stuff, and you guys have made tons of surprises over that period. But I want to ask you how world building was like, and what tips do you have for those that are possibly thinking about doing homebrew and stuff?
Okay. Yeah. So Trent is the main brain behind most of this stuff.
Yeah.
But he's admitted to me that he's not good at organizing stuff. And so because he was telling me some of his ideas, and I was like, you need to like keep track of these or you're going to forget everything. He's like, oh yeah, I have like these Google Notes, and they're like really jumbled and messy. And I was like, just share me on some of those notes and I will help you make like a world book kind of thing. And
really?
Yeah. And so that's what we were doing for the last like 2 years almost. Trent was sharing his creation of this world with me, and I was like helping just organize it. And there would be things where Trent would be like, hidden knowledge. I'm not telling you because I want to use this world for the podcast and you can't know everything.
That's super cool. So there's things that even you don't know.
Oh yeah, there's lots of things I don't know. I know
super
like
cool.
the tip of the iceberg about like everything kind of thing.
Gotcha.
But like
okay.
if past knowing like maybe names, like I knew that Horus was like, I think, and this
episode should be
released by now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that Horus, the old Templar guy, I knew he was the hero.
That's super
I didn't know why he was the hero. I just knew he was.
You just knew that he was.
I knew he was one of the original Templars kind of thing. And
that's super
so I
super
knew
cool.
he was like an ancient, old, awesome dude. But like things like that, or like things like Stag. I mean, we played some practice episodes beforehand, and Stag was heavily involved in that.
Yep.
And so we all have this like inside knowledge about who Stag was, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So just stuff like that. I'd say for world building though, any tips would be think of something cool, and roll with it, and just start writing your ideas down. I feel like as you start thinking, oh, I want to have this, and then you're like, oh, but it'd be also cool if this, and then eventually it's like, wait, all this stuff I've tied together, it's a little bit too big. separating it, and now you have two different ideas, kind of thing, you
Right.
know. At least I feel like that's how it happens with me sometimes. I've DM'd a couple times, and like I've tried to build another world, and I think what helped me was thinking like geography helped with a lot for me. So like
Really?
making the
Okay.
map first and then going, okay, like who's gonna live where? Like will different races in D&D live in different places? And then it helps me start thinking, okay, what are the relationships between these people? And then I just start thinking, okay, what's the governing system? And then eventually I have an idea for a story kind of thing that just kind of pops in my head. And then I just start integrating it into the world. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Also, there's no shame in pulling ideas or tropes from your favorite books and stuff. Like, I mean, you don't copy it exactly kind of thing, but
Yeah.
like there's cool ideas that I've read. I've read a lot of books, and so like a lot of times I'll just combine certain things, and I'm not making it exactly like, but there's like these classic like, oh the villain is in disguise, and you've actually already met the BBG, kind of the big bad guy or something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
you know? And like that's not something that is unique to any one story, but like that's the type of idea that I like, oh, that happened in that one series I really like, I'm going to add it into here kind of thing.
That's super, super cool.
Yeah.
And that's fun that you like the world building stuff, that you made a map and then you were like, all right, logically stuff would fit really well here, or this race would go really well here. So
Yeah.
like kind of planning it out in like a frame and then like filling it in with all these details of like story elements that you want to put in.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm getting from that. That's really cool. So with the last like remaining time, I want to ask a little bit more about you.
Yeah,
Dean.
yeah.
So some of the questions that we used last time were, what are your hobbies?
Oh, well, I've already said I like to read a lot. I like to write. It's just something that I have to be in the right mood in order to like start writing. I've like started writing several books kind of thing, but I've never gotten far into them kind of thing. But that's
Yeah.
one of my goals. I like video games, Overwatch, League of Legends.
Let's go.
Those are the two ones I play that are like online mostly. I've been playing like Monster Hunter on the Switch kind of thing.
Nice.
I like games. I don't do them as much anymore between school and D&D and work. I don't have a ton of time, and a lot of times I end up just hanging out with my wife because, you know, family is the top priority. So, yeah.
That's super cool. And you have a wife?
Yeah. So, ta-da!
Ta-da!
I'm married. I'm actually the only one in Channel Divinity right now.
Woo, the rest of us are single and ready to mingle. Just kidding. But
Yeah.
that's super cool.
Yeah, I guess I'll tell you where I met my wife. That's fun.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
So, I had honestly, I was at school, and she was doing an internship at a nearby like nonprofit, United Way. It's like I think it's all over the place.
Yeah.
Anyways, and I had a friend who got us together, and we got a group together, and little did I know that friend was like, I want to set up all my friends. And so, and it kind of worked. We
go.
didn't start dating immediately, but we hung out a couple times after that, started dating, and now we're married.
Dude, that's super cool. Right on.
Yeah.
That's so fun. Well, you like video games. That sounds like most everyone in the group
Yeah,
so far.
the Nerd Kingdom,
Yeah, let's
D&D
go.
video games.
So, along with that, if you were a fictional character in like League of Legends or Overwatch or in one of the books you've read, like Ranger's Apprentice, who would you
Oh.
be?
So, okay, I'm the one who prepared a lot of these questions, so I've had more time to think. And honestly, the character that came first to my head, it's from a movie.
Okay.
And it's Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon.
Dude, that's a good one.
And it's like, I've got red hair, he's got like kind of red hair. It's red-ish. It's like brown red. But anyways, I feel like I'm a lot like him, where like I really like the outdoors, but like at heart I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
And so like yeah, and
It's kind of this duality of like, I like this thing, but I also like
But-
this thing, and they kind of like conflict in some areas.
yeah, they kind of conflict, but then yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's funny that that's the character I think of because Vesper is a Drake Warden Ranger,
There you go.
and he's got a little dragon buddy that goes around with him. But yeah, that's who I was thinking of when I thought of that question.
Dude, right on. That's sick. That's super, super cool. All right. We only have a little bit of time left. Let's see. So the last question that we want to go over is, what is kind of like your school plan do you have, or like your job career plan? What kind of path are you trying to take?
Yeah. So for the longest time, I was gonna go to medical school.
Really?
Really, I have mad respect for anyone who goes, because I took a lot of the courses, and it wasn't a waste because I'm still going to use them for what I want to go into. But medical school, there's so much that goes into it. Yeah. But I decided, I like science. I like helping people, but you can help people without making it your profession, kind of thing.
True, yeah.
So
yeah.
and there was just a lot of internal pressure that I'd put on myself ever since high school, or even like before high school, where I was like, I'm gonna be a doctor. I'm gonna be a doctor. It's not like my parents pushed it on me or anything. But yeah, now I've taken my like a bajillion credits of sciences and stuff. But like I got into doing some research at a lab at our university, and I've really enjoyed doing research. Like it's pretty fun. I still like science. I get to learn about that kind of stuff. And I want to stay in more school. I really like school. I like learning about stuff in like a structured way, kind of thing. So I think I'm going to go like a PhD route. And then hopefully maybe become like a professor later on down the road and keep doing research, but then also teach. So yeah, that's what my thought is right now. But we'll see. I'm still figuring things out too.
Dude, that's super cool. Well, good luck with all of that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. School, it's been a while. It's been taking a while.
I bet.
Today was actually the last day of school,
dude,
for this
that's
semester.
Right,
oh,
yeah.
Fantastic.
Woo! Now we can take a breather.
Yeah, eventually we'll be done. Hopefully the podcast is still going on by then.
Hopefully, yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, if we're doing it through college and you're going to be a college professor, we might be doing this podcast for a while.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know if I'll stay here though, but I mean, we could always go remote.
That's always true, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, as we wrap up, is there anything that you'd like the audience to know? Any fun, like, hidden, like, shout-outs that you want to put out there for you, or any fun little bits of knowledge that you want to share with the audience?
I don't know, about myself. I feel like I don't really have much for podcasting. I just thought about it. I taught myself how to edit for the podcast.
Right, yeah.
And it's was not easy. And so there's like so much that goes into like making a podcast and editing it and that kind of stuff. And we've all been like splitting up the work as best as we can, kind of thing.
But you've been kind of taking the bulk of like just all the editing for the episodes and putting in all the
for like production. I've done a lot
more
of
of like
it.
the production team for Channel Divinity.
Yeah,
which is a huge piece and portion of this.
Yeah,
right?
and I mean I reached out to other people doing podcasts and like other D&D podcasts and stuff, and got some advice from people. And so I just want to put out there, if anyone else wants advice on starting a podcast or D&D or anything like that, reach out. I am more than willing, and I'm sure the rest of us are, to like give any kind of advice that like on how to start stuff up or how to play D&D, that kind of stuff. yeah, I want to help anyone who wants to be able to join that community join it.
Right? Yeah. Well, right on. Hey, thank you, Dean, for joining us for this little, like, what did you call it again? I'm sorry.
Cast and Curious.
Cast and Curious. Thank you for joining us on Cast and Curious, episode 2. And we can't wait for the next one that we hope to do later in the series to kind of see how you've grown, and then also to see how Vesper has grown through the story as well, and to kind of reflect on that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening to this episode. We hope you enjoy the rest of the story. We have a couple of announcements. If you do have names for the DM, Trent, send them on our socials, message us at our email, channeldivinitypodcast@gmail.com. And then if you want to check out some of the sounds that we use, that's on our Podbean website. If you want to give some love to the person that made our intro and outro, look up Kel Thatcher on Spotify. He has some really good music on there as well, so check him out. And then with that, I'm Gordon, and with me I have
Dean.
All right.
And I play Vesper Ravenwing.
All right. Well, until then, see you next time.
Yep, and keep tuning in.
Let's go.